At the beginning of the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic, we knew little about this specific new virus, but we did have previous knowledge about SARS-CoV-1 and MERS coronavirus outbreaks, and we had a handful of complete SARS-CoV-2 genomes and metadata that had been published to GISAID. Together, these data and our previous knowledge about coronaviruses allowed the NextStrain team to prepare a situation report that documented the state of the pandemic at its earliest stages. The team implemented this report through a NextStrain narrative, which is a scrolling storytelling tool that we had previously developed a couple years before. This tool provides a sidebar for navigation and descriptive text on the left, and a main display panel on the right that allows users to display dynamic NextStrain views or static content. This format allowed the NextStrain team to provide an executive summary of the state of the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic at its very beginning. And it also allowed the team to provide background information about what was known about human coronaviruses, the state of the outbreak as the narrative was being written, and information about how to interpret phylogenetic trees. This type of static information is useful for augmenting or clarifying the narrative's NextStrain views. Because phylogenetic trees and their associated metadata are not initially intuitive to interpret for anyone who hasn't studied phylogenetics before, and because NextStrain analyses rely so heavily on these trees to understand the evolution of viruses, this initial situation report included several slides to help readers follow the way that specific conclusions can be drawn from these trees. The NextStrain views in a narrative can display a tree, a map, or other NextStrain panels as they appear when viewing those NextStrain analyses on nextstrain.org, but there are limited interactive options. For example, users can hover over tips in the tree or branches in the tree to get details on demand. But the rest of the view is relatively fixed by the narrative's author. This allows the narrative author to define this fixed view that corresponds to the text that appears on the right-hand sidebar. Readers can explore this corresponding interactive view by selecting the Explore the Data Yourself button, and then return to the narrative by clicking Return to Narrative in the top right. In this way, NextStrain narratives provide an online platform to share findings for genomic epidemiology studies with a broader public audience in a guided manner that allows for more accurate interpretation of the data. As a whole, NextStrain allows epidemiologists to quickly perform genomic epidemiology analyses from recent data, host those analyses online for interactive exploration, author narratives to describe the key results from their analyses, and then share these narratives with decision makers. So for the rest of this tutorial, we'll be showing examples of how to prepare your own narratives and your own data sets that can be hosted online for others to see.